that I've got. I'm digging them moss bags up in the sand, and after work a cold beer in my hand, picking wild berries off God's land, and drinking my buddy's homemade wine. Living Northwest wild, hunting, fishing is my kind of style. I float the Wainuchi when it gets hot. I'm proud of all the things that I've got. I'm digging them moss bags up in the sand, and after work a cold beer in my hand, picking wild berries off God's land, and drinking my buddy's homemade wine in the Northwest wild.
Hey, good evening and welcome to Fish on Northwest, Wayne England. Tommy Donlan in studio.
Hey, yo.
Show number 2 of the year.
That's right.
January 14th already. This year is screaming by.
It is. It is.
We have a ton of things going on. You know, even though doesn't seem to be a whole lot of fishing going on right now, rivers are at flood levels. Puget Sound is questionable with these weather windows we've been experiencing.
More domoic acid on the coast.
More domoic
Razor
acid
clam
on
digs
the
being
coast.
delayed further.
Crabbing is obviously closed. There's some waterfowl to be had. Got out the other day, and that was a complete bust. But we're going to revamp that again tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a little while. But there is some stuff to do. And part of this, you know, it happens every year, Tommy. We get in this time of year. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that maybe don't seem relevant, but in truth, they really are. Because they affect what you and I and everybody else tuning in really love to get out and go do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so this is that time of year where we take opportunity to help educate the masses on some of the things going on as it relates to fishing and hunting, and more so this time of the year, fishing, shaping our seasons moving forward into 2021, and things we can anticipate. And some of the work going on at the legislative sessions right now, and some committee work going on, and there's just some things happening, lawsuits pending. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
There is.
So not a lot of how-to tonight, but we do have an in-studio guest. Our good buddy Matt Messing of Messin Around Fishing Charters is joining us in studio tonight. Cover a little bit of blackmouth fishing in Puget Sound, which will close January 19th, by the way, right?
Yeah.
It's been put out there. It's been pushed out there as we're going to do early temporary closure. We're going to hope to open it back up.
Right. But at the point that they announced that, they still allowed another 9 days to go forward, right?
That was yes.
Yeah. So at that, January 10th marker, we had already incurred 49% of the impacts on the unclipped.
The wild,
on the wild,
right?
Yeah.
So,
wild with quotations.
Yeah. So, So we have that to discuss. We'll have Matt in studio to really drill down into that one and kind of sort it out as to what is going on on our limited opportunity going into it, for crying out loud. One area open for blackmouth this year. That came out of north of Falcon last year. Guess what's just going to start happening here as we roll into late January into February and into early spring? North of Falcon process, right?
Yep.
Is it going to be any better? I'm going to probably tell you right now, no, it's not. It's going to be the same old song and dance, pony gong show that we're destined to deal with year in and year out. And that's down the road, not too far. So some of this stuff that we're experiencing right now still lingers on from those decisions made last north of Falcon.
Yeah, for sure.
The blackmouth lack of their blackmouth fisheries would be one of them.
Well, and again, think about the economic impact that was lost in the Northwest Salmon Derby Series in the San Juan Islands.
Oh, yeah.
This winter.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
You think of Roach Harbor, Friday Harbor, Anacortes, all of those big money derbies that bring everybody out and support that local community.
Yep.
Gone.
Tremendous loss.
Didn't happen.
Yeah, so we'll dial in the old blackmouth, what it means that it's closed on the 19th, and anticipate an opener. Maybe we can look forward to another week or so, 10 days maybe in March. That would be kind of nice if the weather is decent and the fish put on a little bit of size, if there's bait around. We got some stuff to talk about, so we'll get to that. But we're also going to jump down into Oregon, dial up our good buddy called Buschelman, Willamette Valley Outfitters. Me and the Beard are heading down there next Tuesday, Wednesday, going to jump in on the Siletz for the day I'm going to go back and fish that river in February as well, for good reason. They can fish from a boat down there. Huh?
Yeah, how about that?
They can actually get in the boat, row down river, and fish out of said vessel, dragging a line if you choose, or dragging a bobber, or whatever it is. But we'll get Kyle on because there's a couple things. It's twofold. One, we get to fish out of the boat down there, which is exciting. Two, that Broodstock program is very successful in its own regard, along with other rivers on that coastal region of Oregon. And we have some things going on up here relative to pending broodstock opportunities. Skykomish Summer Run is one of them that we want to remind folks what's going on there. So that'll be a great conversation with Kyle. We have a handful of other things to get to. So before we get too far along in the show, I want to remind everybody that Fish Hunt Northwest is presented by Better Homes and Gardens Pacific Commons Real Estate, located in Puyallup, Washington. We are just about ready to close a land deal with our good buddy Joe Maxwell with that office. So we got some exciting stuff in the works in that regard. And this is why you go with Joe Maxwell and his team there, because there was some contractual what am I trying to say?
Nuances that you had to navigate.
Some information that was, keeping everybody else steered away from this property. He's like, no, it's just a paper trail, man. This is a slam dunk. And guess what? We're going to land on this thing, and it's going to work out pretty well. So the reason I tell you that is because Joe's been doing it for so long, and his team, they're fantastic at what they do. They know all the legalities, and they're dialed. So make sure you pay attention to them. Our good friends out there at Defiance Marine, manufacturers of the Defiance, the Arima, and of course the Allied, the 21-foot Mustang, soon to land on the front doorsteps here at FHN. Can't wait. Hoping to go out there next week and take a look at it. Should be back from paint, but we'll see where we land with there. So give those guys a look at defiancemarine.com. Their maintenance shop is second to none. Their staff is fantastic, and they have exactly what you need. So make sure you give them a look. And also want to bring to the team Phoenix Protective Corp. They jumped on with us this year as a contributing sponsor, Phoenix Protective Corp. If you are retired military or ex-police and looking for a part-time or full-time gig with benefits, fantastic company to work for in security. They have a lot of different areas they delve into in the whole security realm, to include canine, personal escort, the whole deal, right? Protection. So do yourself a favor. If you're looking for work, especially because they're hiring, if you're ex-military, if you're a veteran, give Phoenix Protection Corp a contact, www.phoenixprotectivecorp.com. All right. With that, I want to remind everybody, hey, Shing came in here and threw all these hats on my desk before the show started. To remind everybody, Tommy, that, you know what? The online store for Fish Hunt Northwest is up and going.
Up and running.
Yep.
Yeah.
www.fishhuntnw.com. Go there, check out our website, follow us by simply submitting your email, get on our email list so you're always up to speed every time we post new information on the webpage, new blogs, some soon to be coming from you, right? Saltwater fisheries and whatnot, and big game hunting. We're going to continue to bring in a few more contributors too. We're going to continue to add information to our webpage. And that is where we host our online store with all kinds of amazing gear and swag. Stuff's basically going out of the door now every day. It's pretty exciting. So this new line of hats is second to none. Pretty happy with these. And they're going to be around for a short time because they're going out the door pretty quick. www.fishhuntnw.com for all your wares. With that, Sir Thomas, we have a few things going on as we open the show. The Queets is closing a month early. Did you get the memo?
I did.
Did you really?
From Mr. England, yeah.
Were you frustrated?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
With all
I'm a
those plans
saltwater
you had
guy.
for steelhead fishing?
I feel for my fishing brothers.
Yeah. So the Queets was slated originally to stay open until March 1st. It's now closing February 1st. It was written up as conservation concerns, which tells me they want to make sure they're getting enough fish back to the hatchery and, of course, then the natural spawn fish. But, the salmon and other rivers dump into there, and the run's been pretty amazing for when it's been fishable. So much water as of late, not a lot of action out there, but for those windows of opportunity where guys were getting out there, buddies of mine, I saw pictures that make you think it was 1980 something with the amount of fish they were pulling out of there. So
I got a question for you. So it's closing February 1st, but is that a permanent closure, or once they get those fish back that they need to continue the program, then they'll reopen it, or is this a...
Probably with that narrow window, and this is just me talking, with that narrow window of it was going to remain open until March 1st, and now they're closing it February 1st. I would think within that month time frame, probably not going to be enough room for them to reassess and look at it and see if it's worth giving the recreational opportunity back. So it is one of the systems and rivers that we did have opportunity on for a short stint, again, in between the highs and lows in the water. So those of you that fortunately got out in that region, you did pretty well bank fishing, and you know, a few boats were heading down river as well. But that is actually closing a month early, which continues the saga of this winter steelhead season as we know it, and the lack of opportunity. And you know, right now, one of the biggest frustrations for a lot of guys, I was talking with Cameron Black the other night on the phone. I mean, obviously he's a well-known guide in the area, gone fishing, and talking about steelhead fish. He's like, dude, I haven't even been, you know, because of the high water. And now you take these rivers, and he's a little more southwest, but the rivers around here, south and north coast, that are closed, obviously, as we've regurgitated multiple times, closed to fishing from a floating device. Well, currently with the conditions, even as the water drops, it has to drop significantly until you even get an exposed gravel bar or water that's shallow enough for wading, you know, thigh high, that you could actually fish.
Insult to injury.
Yeah, insult to injury. So you have limited access anyway, and then with all this tons of water we keep having, and the water continues to stay up, the lack of opportunity has been prevalent. So a few holes of opportunity, but not many, and I do not see a ton of steelhead photos being pushed around the old interwebs and Facebook for sure.
Right. So we have a comment here from Mr. Andrew Moravec. He says, and I see Matt smiling over there. Do you want to know what he says?
Yeah, I see it. Enough talk.
We want more Matt Messing.
Just hold on to that thought, Andrew. We'll bring him out. He's a specimen that everybody wants to see, right? So we'll get him here soon enough. All right, before we jump out for a break, a couple more things to mention. Spring Chinook numbers are in, and it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, we have some things to look forward to. Cowlitz River is going to do okay. It's actually got, we'll back up to 2020 projection was 1,400 fish. The actual escape, or the actual return, was 908. And if you remember, they closed a lot of our rivers early in regards to spring Chinook opportunity last year as well. Looks like the forecast there is 1,800. Kalama's going to do actually relatively well, considering 2,000 plus a few. Lewis River looks 2,400. I mean, we have some rivers that are going to exceed escapement based on the preseason forecast. So again, it's not all doom and gloom. We have some opportunity. That Willamette River, 50,000 anticipated. It's a pretty decent number, obviously, for those that beat up on that pretty good. So we do have some things to look forward to. One thing that does not look good at all is our Upper Columbia River sockeye numbers. I'll also be curious to see what's going to transpire with the whole Baker Lake opportunity this year. Will we see a decent amount of fish back into that region, and look forward to an opportunity on Baker Lake more than a week or so? That would be nice. The Upper Columbia total sockeye numbers not looking good at all. The forecast for 2020 was 246,000 plus some change. It actually came in at 345,000, which is decent, and had an okay fishery. Especially in the Okanagan area out of Brewster, but the preseason forecast this year is 155,000. Now, who knows? Maybe it's one of those things similar to last year, Bowie 10, where they came in with that low ball number on them Chinook, gave us that 2-week window of opportunity, the worst tides of the year, and then as we forged ahead, them fish kept coming in, so they kept coming back with that weekend opener, another weekend opener. Now it's open from here to here. Now we're going to open it all the way upriver. Pretty soon we have a retention of more than one fish. Now you can keep a Chinook and a coho, and it just kept going. And it just kept moving upriver. And next thing you know, the fishing's pretty darn good. And
so what's the number one factor in that forecast? Do you know? What's the number one variable that changes where they go, oh, we just had that banner year, and now, boom, it's half of what it was in 2020. What?
That's a fair question. I don't know.
That'd be a good subject
I always look
to
at it and
cover,
say it's a moving target, because they're up against it and trying to truly gauge where these are going to land year in and year out. And most times they're substantially wrong. it favors them if they undershoot it and the run overperforms. If they overshoot it and the run comes in way under, it's egg on their face. So last year, we don't want to use the title hero, but they came out smelling pretty good because the run way overperformed than was anticipated. That being said, though, when you underestimate a run like that and you clamp down on a 2-week window of opportunity on Chinook at buoy 10, that's a 2-week window that eliminates a large percentage of folks that are planning to come down there, get rooms, spend money, patron restaurants, hotels, gas, the whole deal. So you narrow that down. If you have a full August opportunity that entire month, there's a lot more people making plans to spend a few days to a week down there in the summertime and spend that money, right? So it's a double-edged sword. But that fish forecast is a moving target, Tommy. Now apparently they're up against ocean conditions as a factor that years previous they didn't always put a lot of weight into. But after the debacles of 2015, 16, and as it kind of trended into 17, the amount of kill-off in the ocean and the ocean conditions and the blob and all that, they started applying a higher mortality factor on certain ocean conditions, which makes sense. But I guess it's kind of they learned, right? So it's hard. I mean, you look at the number of jacks coming in the previous season. Red counts on any particular tributaries to accumulate overall basin on what they project and forecast. They have downriver smolt traps on some systems to acquire the outmigrant smolt of various species to truly gauge what that percentage looks like, right? And then it all goes into survivability factors. You get out here as the coho get out into the salt water and heading near along the shore, they have certain areas where they'll do test net fisheries for outmigrant smolt, and they gauge the survivability of smolt leaving freshwater and transitioning into the salt water and see how much they lose in that regard. So there's so many different factors on how they gauge it. And here's the frustrating part. So it's a good question by you. The tribes and WDFW. Different models.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll correct me. I want to say completely. Well, maybe not completely, but substantial enough that when they come together in this North of Falcon stuff and start talking preseason forecast, well, we project 250,000 Chinook.
Right.
Well, we're at 135,000. That's a significant difference.
I'd love to get a hold of their series of equations and models that actually define our runs. I'd like to interrogate it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's public knowledge or not, but
yeah, it's complicated and it's a lot behind closed doors. And then they put the numbers out there for us to mull over and either go, oh, we got something to look forward to, or crap, here we go again, right? So the spring Chinook numbers don't look too terrible in some regards on some rivers. Before we jump out of here, something worth mentioning. As we dig around on information, see what's going on out there, we have some interesting pending lawsuits against WDFW. As a department, a state agency, I got to imagine they get inundated with
all sorts of stuff.
Well, there's the barrage of hate mail, I'm sure, constantly, right? So hats off to those of you that work there that can stomach that type of rhetoric coming in constantly. But there is some lawsuits as of late that have hit the airwaves here. There is a private citizen who basically has filed a lawsuit against WDFW in the aftermath of the steelhead season, as it were, and the significant about face that they pulled in implementing this rule change.
As it relates to Americans with disabilities. So this gentleman went as far as to say the suit is a two-part suit, the first part being a breach of contract, and I read the finite details in that. Basically, I bought my license based on this opportunity. And this is what you gave me.
And then this is what you come in, basically tell me I can't fish. So why, I spent my money on a license and all that.
Bait and switch.
And then the second part of that is discrimination against me as a registered disabled fisherman, hunter, which is valid. Which we talked about.
Well, we talked about it. So in the lawsuit, he's named Director Kelly Siswin, Chair of the Commission, Larry Carpenter, Regional Fish Program Manager James Losey, friend of ours, who basically drafted the majority of this plan, who I've talked to multiple times as this was being unraveled, and of course WDFW overall. So here's private citizen that says I've had enough, and he's actually, I believe he filed here in Thurston County, and he's going after WDFW and staff, personal lawsuit to say my rights have been impeded.
And he's got lawyer.
Yeah.
He's lawyered up. He's going for it. Another one, and we talked about it towards the end of last year. Fish Northwest had filed that lawsuit in district court in Seattle against WDFW, and basically, to summarize that one, it's them recognizing the discrepancies and lack of equal allocation.
Right.
And they don't feel like we're being represented. I say we as recreational anglers, being represented at the table, especially during the North of Falcon process and when all the seasons are set and the allocations are doled out. It's like, we're not getting our fair shake.
It's not 50-50.
Not even close. And they have documentation, historical documentation that provides to show you the inadequacies of how this is being dealt out and who's getting what and when.
Right. And it's going to be interesting to see how these valid lawsuits play out compared to a lawsuit that we're going to talk about a little bit later, which is just a frivolous, emotionally charged, I feel a certain way lawsuit. Okay.
That's
it's going to tell you a lot if these, the disabled American that doesn't have an opportunity because you can't fish from a boat or steelhead, versus, this frivolous lawsuit. I want to see how these play out, right?
I do too. Because it kind of opens Pandora's box. It's like, can any Joe Schmo citizen just start slapping lawsuits against WDFW?
That's going to set a precedent.
Absolutely. The one that we'll talk about later part of the show kind of ties in with a few other things going on. It deals with spring bear hunts and emotions, as you stated, right? So that's kind of an interesting one. The other two, however, the Fish Northwest one is a legitimate lawsuit with counsel and is waiting to be heard by a judge. And the other one is an individual. And when you start going down the road of Disability Act, ADA, you're not playing around.
Right.
Okay. There's certain rules and laws that apply to that. So we're just bringing it to you guys' attention because when you think we're at this time of year, as I open the show with, doesn't seem like there's a lot going on. And there's things happening that just, as we are aware in a recreational community, I think it helps us all understand some of the things happening behind the scenes that's important for everybody to pay attention to. All right, jump out for a quick break, Tommy. We come back, introduce our buddy. Had him on the phone multiple times. Made a video with him last season.
Yes, we did.
Live bait lingcod fishing.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Every pass, fish on. Another pass, fish on. 14 lingcod in a half a day fishing in the Sound.
You were blown away.
In the Sound.
You were like, I am just beside myself right now. So
I don't know if I said that. But.
No, you did. You actually whispered it in my ear.
Okay. Well, the whispering in your ear part, I remember that.
Yeah, I do too, because you pinned me up against the. Anyway, we're gonna jump out for a quick break. We come back. Matt Messin Around Fishing Charters, right here in the studios at Fish Out Northwest.
Marine is the one-stop shop for the Pacific Northwest angler. Whether you are looking for a small skiff to fish the Sound or rivers, or a huge offshore tuna machine, Defiance Marine has it. At Defiance Marine, be sure to power your boat with a Honda outboard package. Take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty on your Honda outboards. Our service department is always here to help and serve you as the customer. Did you know Defiance Marine has boat financing experts to help get you the best term rates on your new boat purchase? If you need financing for that new boat, call us today. We guarantee the best price, best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine also carries all the gear that you will need. Everything from auxiliary kicker motors to fishing tackle and bait. Defiance Marine has certified technicians that are top-notch at their job. Some of the best in the Pacific Northwest at evaluating your boat issues and problems. Stop in today or give us a call for all your needs at Defiance Marine.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Phoenix Protective Corporation strives for excellence. Above all, Phoenix security officers are managed by leaders trained to inspire and encourage greatness. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts, with service ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. We here at Phoenix are looking for highly motivated individuals to apply. If you're a vet, retired or active, and would like to work with us, please apply.
Hey, welcome back, Fish on Northwest. Thanks for tuning in. We got a lot of activity on the old messenger here, Tommy. Lots of people chiming in. Ron, yes, the hump Satsip Nooch, all chocolate milk, and have been for weeks. Satsip almost hit 40,000 the previous heavy rain. This last deluge, I think it was up around 38. So once the water settles and we can get back out onto the water, we're going to see some changed environment. We're going to see some channels off, maybe taking a little different direction, lots of debris pushed around, different stump piles, what have you. Especially on the heels of this windstorm, I'll be curious to see how many blowovers we have and how many areas of rivers are blocked. So first couple days out, pack the chainsaw. Yeah, that's an absolute go-to. So
do some scouting.
Absolutely. Back in studio, we got our good buddy Matt Messing finally in studio. Made the drive down. How you doing, buddy?
Here. Oh, I'm great. I'm great. These chairs are nice.
Aren't these comfortable?
This is comfy.
Yeah,
I like this.
Not too bad. I apologize. You got to sit next to Tommy.
Almost puts me to sleep.
So it smells good. It's not too bad.
Oh, there you go. We have one requirement. He has to shower once a week, and that's Thursday morning.
Perfect.
And dinner, not too shabby.
Dinner, amazing food. Yeah, I'm half asleep here right now.
Shrimp.
Yeah.
Good
so
salmon.
Yeah.
Good healthy food.
Yeah, Shing does it up right. So anyway, hey man, you've been Dakota Daniels watching from Nashville with his producer. Hey, right on, man, repping the hoodie. How about that?
Awesome.
Dakota's down in Nashville recording his new album. That's going to be phenomenal.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, he's one of our
Jake Meyer says, shout out to the hometown homie, Matt Messing.
There you go.
Roger.
Whoop, whoop. So you've been out there getting after those blackmouth.
Yeah. It's kind of been a pretty good start.
Not bad. It's action-packed.
Maybe not all the action that we were hoping for. But
when we had you on the show, heck, we had you on last week on the phone actually. You talked about all these high water events, the amount of debris.
Absolutely.
The watercolor that's getting pushed out there into the sound. You got that top layer that's a little dirty, right?
Yeah, I mean, the sound looks like the rivers right now. It's chocolate milk out there, and there are logs everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere. So much debris out on that water today. You got to go slow and pay attention. Be careful. Watch where you're going.
Yep. Are you even going out in the morning when it's dark? You wait till daylight?
No. I'm leaving like right at first light. I'm leaving the dock at first light, guys. It's not worth it right now to be on the spot at first light because you're going to lose a motor or a boat or your life.
Right.
It ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it. I've never seen the amount of debris that I did today out there before.
Ain't worth 5-pound fish.
Yeah, ain't worth the fish.
Speaking of which, so we have a pending closure the 19th. We knew a closure would come at some point. Yeah. I didn't anticipate, and I don't know, Tommy, if you did, that they would split our season. They're trying to close it early so they can open something on the back end.
Well, they're trying to close it early, but when they announced it, they're still giving it another 9 days.
Yeah, because that information, those stats that you had that we were shared the other day were from the 10th, correct?
From the 10th.
The 10th. Yes. And then they said pending closure the 19th, and you have the accumulation of percentages in the first 10 days, and you're going to go almost another 9 or 10.
I think it's going to be close to achieving the full impact on wild Chinook when we hit the 19th.
What was our impact to wilds?
49%. 49%.
Yep. So, today's the 14th. You got 5 more days to raise those impacts.
Yes.
That's all that's going to happen.
Matt, what's the key? First of all, you've seen a lot of boats out there. Is it pretty crowded, being the only area, respectively, that's open that gives you a chance to add some blackmouth?
Yeah. There's definitely a lot more people out on the water right now, just because there's nowhere else to go.
Right.
I mean, we can't even poke up in Area 9 at all. It's just throw everybody in one spot, see what happens.
It's literally the only show in town.
It's the only thing in the salt. I mean, 13, year round, but there's a reason it's year round open.
Yeah, we just laugh at that. Like if you want to waste gas and go for a boat ride,
that's a long way to go. Right? Yeah. But I mean, there's guys out there. The weather has kind of helped, keep some of these encounters down, but we got a nice 3-4 day window break coming up here, and this weekend's going to get packed. I bet there's going to be a ton of people.
Weather's going to be good, and right up until the closure.
Right into the closure.
But you've got quite a bit of action going on, it sounds like.
It's actually, there's fish out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish out there.
I even jumped around today, kind of fished some spots I don't typically go to, and There's blackmouth there.
Is that right?
20 inches. I mean, they're everywhere. 20 inch, 21 inch. They're everywhere.
I know Tommy will ask, what are we marking for bait? That's always
not a lot of bait.
Question.
Little pockets here and there. I have not seen the big bait balls that we're used to kind of seeing, especially summertime stuff. But a lot of little stuff towards the bottoms. And today at Kingston I saw some herring. Finally kind of boiling around, kind of doing some stuff.
What I don't understand is we had like a massive influx of squid into the Puget Sound.
Huge.
Unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, limits in an hour and a half when it was on, type of thing. Why are these fish's stomachs so empty?
All of them empty. I don't know. They're slamming lures like 20-inch fish feels like an 8 to 10 pounder. Feels like a big guy.
They're hammering it.
Just hammering it. Just popping clips off, and then you get it up and you're all pumped up. You're like, this one's a keeper, and it's 18 inches. Like, man, a lot of heart. Quite
a few hookups a day then.
A lot of today.
Action.
15 or more, probably. I lose count. You kind of.
And you're not running coho killers.
No coho killers. I'm doing everything I can to stay away from those little guys. It is either hoochies or plugs. Yeah. I even ran a 5-inch plug today. Still caught a fish. Still caught a 20-inch fish.
Still caught a 20-inch fish.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they're hungry. To Tommy's point, I'm not sure why we're not finding them stomachs,
something. And that's just me. I don't know if you guys chime in, if you're out there, if you're watching, what's in the bellies? Have you guys seen anything? Because everything, I'm filleting them wide open. I can't even squeeze. There's nothing in them.
Yeah, you're looking above the stomach.
Yeah. Besides trying to dissect poop, you're like, I don't know what they're eating.
You got to taste it.
Yeah.
Fish or squid.
Are you seeing like distinct bites? Like the bite goes on, you'll catch some, and then it goes off, and you'll have a lull, and you catch, or is it just kind of like a constant pick throughout the day?
It's kind of been a pick. There are the little highs, it'll come boom, 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 getting some doubles and stuff going on. But it's been kind of constant, and I'm usually off the water, especially if I'm doing trips. We're done around 12:30 to 1. Haven't really been out in the evenings much, so I don't really know what's happening in the evenings, But first thing in the morning, you get out there, it's kind of slow, and then pick, just until noon, and it's not boring.
What tide have you mostly fished? Have you fished both sides of the tide yet?
Fished both sides of the tide. Yeah, I've been all over, and it's just
performed equally
everywhere.
How about,
it seems anywhere I go, there's something there.
How about the depth?
Shallow,
really?
Shallow. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to say much about that, but yeah.
It's too late. You're on the show. You're fully committed.
Okay, let's do this. You had that 150 to 200 line?
Yeah.
No. Or are you 150 to 125?
Inside. Wow.
180 to 100?
100 to
really?
50.
So you're still marking those fish.
I'm seeing them
on the sonar. You're just not marking the bait with them.
No. There's fish. There's fish there.
You are shallow.
Wow.
Super. Yeah.
You banging lead on the bottom?
Near.
I mean, you're right there.
Yeah, I'm not working as hard as I used to. It's tap bottom, bring it up a hair, and I'm really just trying to stay on that kind of those one little contours, so I don't have to change it up too much. Yeah. It's working. But that bait could be deep. I'm just not there. There's fish inside where I'm at, So I kind of I'll wiggle in and out. 120 is kind of the deepest I've really gone, and I haven't seen anything. Yeah. Everything I've been seeing is really close inside.
So you bump back inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like that 75-80.
Yeah.
Getting it done.
It's a good number.
77, 82.
We're not going to drill it down. It's that 75, 76. That's where you're at.
Stay tuned. In 2 minutes, we're going to give out GPS coordinates.
Yeah, you got those Navonic screenshots?
Yeah, there you go. Let's pop them up there, right? Any particular color on your hoochies or plug?
Same, if you check out the Instagram, I always show you guys what I'm using. Chartreuse, splatterback, that chartreuse glow. And then plugs, just your pearl. I can't go wrong with atomic. The pearl.
You can't go wrong with pearl.
So I'm running pearl. That's Otherwise, spoon. If I'm running a big spoon, it's herring 8 or the cop car. They got the black and glow. With the silver back. That's always been a killer winter blackmouth spoon for me. But
it's got that glow.
We talked about speed. Tell us about what you've consistently been running in terms of speed. Are you still trolling fairly fast?
Yeah, so I'm kind of that 2.5 knots to 3, sometimes 3.1. Especially if I just got both plugs going, I really try to bump it up and still.
And still
I was doing like 3-5.
Yeah.
I just turned with the tide and kind of got away from me for a second, and boom, there goes a fish. So I was like,
yeah, and
they're chasing you
like,
down.
You know, that's atypical, I would say. Like, a lot of people think blackmouth, you're slowing down your troll.
Yeah, like 1-9, just super slow.
Yeah, just enough to rotate the blades.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eric Hanna chimed in, says krill is what he's found in their stomach, along with some herring thrown in from time to time. So
cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Huh?
So some fish have something in their belly. That's good.
Yeah.
There's something out there.
They're eating. So, well, we got 5 more days or so. You running trips? You got any openings?
Yeah. Got openings. I got one trip Saturday. Other than that, let's go.
Right on.
Sundays wide available.
Well, and something else we need to put out there for folks too. We mentioned at the start of the show, Tommy. Don't wait, because he's going to book up on this. When that lingcod opportunity Puget Sound opens up and you want to get in on live bait fishing for lingcod, check out our video we did with Matt on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. It's just scroll through and look for it. Lingcod in Puget Sound with Matt Messing, live bait fishery. We had a phenomenal day. Yeah. Still getting comments on that one.
Keyword live bait.
Live bait.
Keyword live bait.
Yeah.
And if you have not done it and want to know exact details on how to get that dialed in, here's your guy, right? Get out there with Matt. He's going to show you what he does. It's a big sound out there, plenty of room for everybody.
But big lings.
Well, on that day we were out there, I saw maybe 1 to 3 other fish caught. And I mean, I was busy though.
You were too busy reeling fish.
I was busy reeling in fish.
This is true.
I don't even know how you saw
so
that.
I didn't get to watch.
Everybody knew you were busy. Everybody heard how busy you were.
They're all watching us.
But
it's definitely a good time.
14 lingcod in a half a day. Those kind of numbers and the size of the fish that we got.
Yeah, we got some dandies.
You know, we released I think 2 or 3. I can't remember.
And
then the ones that we kept were just under the
35 and a half.
Under the 35, 36.
36,
God, it was like awesome.
Perfect.
Perfect
fish.
So Matt is your guy. Make sure you check him out. Find him on Facebook and or Instagram. Or
Instagram, yep. Messin Around Fishing Charters.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Yes. Look up Messin Around Fishing Charters. Get your trip booked with him for those lingcod when that opener comes up. He will get you on some, and you're going to learn a ton. So, all right, we're going to jump out for a quick break. When we come back, I think I've lost my show sheet, but I should have Kyle Buschelman, Willamette Valley Outfitters, spooled up. We'll talk with him about the Siletz River Broodstock programs and a whole lot more right here on Fish on Northwest.
An Outdoor Emporium is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
It's easier than ever to browse homes and connect with an agent on the go with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate's mobile app. With the app, your home search is synced across all of your devices, so you can pick up your home search anytime, anywhere. Take full advantage of an enriched, mobile-optimized map search experience. Use location services to quickly find homes near you that match your search criteria. Draw your own map boundaries to find homes in a specific area, and apply layers to view school districts, neighborhoods, zip codes, and more. The app's user-friendly design makes it easier than ever to find a home you'll love. Narrow down your search results, save your search criteria, and save your favorite homes. You can browse your saved homes in a list view that puts photos and key details like price and square footage right at your fingertips. Or check out your saved homes displayed on the map.
Hey, welcome back in the studio here at Fish on Northwest. Got our buddy Matt Messing messing around for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sit right there. learn a thing or two
Just
from
gonna
him.
see how you guys do it. You know.
Okay, all right.
Might have to change.
That's why I'm here too.
Might change careers. No.
Yeah.
No, don't. You'll go broke.
Yeah, this is true.
I'm already
I gotta
a
work
fisherman.
the
I'm
corner
already
You'll
just
go
to
broke.
pay for my fuel to get
Guaranteed.
down here.
Much like being a fishing guide. A lot of work and not a lot of credit. Speaking of which, Kyle Buschelman, longtime friend and good buddy that I fished with numerous times, on the phone, and going to tell us everything we need to know to be successful on the Siletz. How you doing, Kyle?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Hey, we're good, man. So coming down there next week, weather forecast looks good for these rivers to drop.
The river was at 17 foot yesterday, and it's going to be dropping really close tomorrow. I'll be fishing Saturday. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it drops fast, so we'll be fishing Saturday through all next week. So it looks good.
Okay, so I had you on the show last year. Matter of fact, you were my very first guest in studio when we launched this entire project back in 2019. So this time of year, it's applicable to have discussions about the success of the broodstock programs down there in Oregon. A few things that Washington State still could learn, a thing or two, in regards to broodstocking. So for those that aren't really familiar with the broodstock program, and let's just focus on the Siletz, briefly take us through exactly what that means. Folks like to confuse that with just standard hatchery practices. I want you to dispel that myth and get people to understand truly what a good, successful broodstock program is.
Well, it starts with a good biologist. We have a guy named Paul Olmstead who does a really good job, and we have the Siletz Anglers Association, which is put together by a couple guides that pretty much gets all his guides together to coordinate. And we worked on a river to make it one of the best. And to have a successful program, you have to have a guy at the biologist level who works hard for you, too. And he's done a good job at making it legal for us to transport wild fish, so we're all issued state permits to transport wild fish in our boat. We have strict rules on it. We're keeping 80 a year for our program. In January, we're going to keep 18, February 20, March 12, April 12, and May 10. So we're going to be doing broodstock fish, wild steelhead, all the way into May.
Yeah.
So this fishery goes a long time. And then just last year, we had a 2% loss on all those fish. So we only lost 2% of the fish.
Yeah, that's good.
So our success rate's really good with it. And, I don't know. It's a lot of, work on the guides out there. Most of the guides that are fishing that river every day have a permit to transport these fish. And they ultimately we drop them in basins. And there's 2 locations on the river that we get them, and we call up Paul. They come and pick those fish up and take them to the LC hatchery. And then when they're done spawning, they bring them back to the river and let them go.
How many?
So it's wild fish.
Oh yeah. So you're getting egg take from wild fish, releasing them unharmed. I mean, you made it a point to say, last year they had a 2% mortality, which is so low on a successful program. Do you know what their goal is on egg take to dump smolt release for the Siletz?
We're putting in 50,000 fish.
Okay,
that's it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because these fish are a little stronger, most rivers are happy with a 1% return. We're seeing like a 5% return on the Siletz River. That's what they call SAR, smolt to adult. Now, it's really tough to gather all that data. A lot of it's based on our catch cards and stuff like that, but, and stuff that they'll see at the trap. But, I talked to Paul today to make sure I had the right information for this, but he said the Siletz is better than most, and we're seeing about a 5% return on. And so we're seeing about 2,500 fish come back from our take each year, returning. So, there's a lot of wild fish in that river. So when you're fishing each day, the chances of getting a keeper every day is pretty good, but we're seeing a mixed bag of wild and hatchery, of course. But the hatchery fish are running really big. I mean, this year it's a normal start, kind of slow. We've had a lot of weather events, making it really tough fishing, but we've caught fish every time, and then the fish that we're catching are big. And they're hatchery too, so broodstock returning fish. So it's really nice.
So clarify that for those that maybe missed it. So are all 50,000 of these fish released unclipped, or is a percentage clipped, or?
We're releasing 50,000 hatchery fish back in the river.
Right.
And if we can get it.
I was going to say reared from wild gene but released as a hatchery fish. And what fin are they clipping on those?
The adipose. We don't do a maxillary anymore.
Okay.
That we found they found that might hurt fish, and you can only think that it could.
Yeah.
And they're not doing the rudder fins either, like they did a pectoral fin before. That's how a lot of rivers did that to mark summer run versus winter run. We don't do that no more. We're just sticking to the adipose, and it's got to be a clipped adipose, and it could be a misclips or anything altered. So, we'll leave that to the guy who wants to keep. But for the most part, you want it to be a hatchery. You want it to be a gone, an obvious clipped fin.
Right.
They don't miss them like they used to. It's a lot of machine work now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's talk a little technique. We're coming down there next week. I have fished that river a number of times with you over the years, and it hasn't changed much in the arsenal that me and the Beard will bring with us for a day on the water.
Well, we usually for all the listeners, what usually happens is I have a plan, and Dwayne just does what he wants.
That sounds familiar.
Does that sound right?
That sounds really familiar.
He just fishes night crawlers out the back of the boat.
Very much.
Rapalas and night crawlers.
Red and white bobber.
But no, we're going to fish beads and jigs, and it's really going to dictate on the color. I mean, we've had it a couple times where we had ideal conditions and struggled, and we had low water and hammered them. I had a couple years ago when we had Brandon from BNR tackle with us, and we hammered them that one time at super low water. We're going to have ideal water in the, I think, mid 5 to 6 foot range, which is a pretty good time to be fishing. Yeah,
and typically the run we do, how many miles is that?
We do about 13 miles,
Yeah, it's a good long day. Lots of really good natural water on there that just, I like the environment. I like the bottom contour. I like the clay shelving. I like the little chutes and channels, and there's just a lot of really good, side water, soft water edges that those fish like to hang on, and you got a good opportunity. And, like you said, it's a good mixed bag of wild fish and hatchery. As we get into February, because you take a bulk of that brood stocking, as you mentioned, based on numbers solely, January, February, and then it tapers off as we get towards April. So I'm assuming the bulk of the return is for the hatchery marked fish is going to be that January, February time frame.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, a lot of us get Springer fever really bad, and we leave early. Too early. And I've been in there in that first 2 weeks of April and hammered some really big fish. The river is it's a year-round fishery, technically. It's got a great summer run on it, too. But, we got to go where the fish, where the money takes us. So a lot of us guys kind of leave the river a bit early just because we're chasing salmon again. But this year we're looking. Paul said we're looking for 80 fish this year, and when we grab these fish, we have to have approved live wells that they provide us, and they're really nice. They have lids and they have a circulation system in it. We're allowed to carry one fish at a time, so we don't harm the fish. And technically, when we decide to take a fish, we need to make a point to get it to the trap. So it's like if you're making it a point to work on the brood program that day, if we get one in the box, we kind of beat feet down to the drop zone so that we're not harming those fish, because they can get beat up in there. And what we don't want is to have us guys hurting these fish. And there was a learning curve over the years, and I think most of us got it down. We got those cradle nets. A lot of fish safe nets, so that when we're transferring, because what will happen is you'll get that tired fish in that box, but getting them out of the box is where they get damaged, because they're full of piss and vinegar again.
How many drop boxes are there on the river? Is there like one per mile? Or
we have two. We have them at two takeouts. We have the one in town at Elahi and one at Twin Bridges. And pretty much if you catch one downriver of that, you'd have to transport it back and drop it in. But it's even with our nice live wells, the fish are pretty strong, believe it or not. But we like to catch our fish in the upper area, and this year with the letter, we were catching like any kind of wild fish that was big and good. Well, the brighter those fish are, the more they have to sit in the hatchery, and they're more susceptible to
yeah, that makes sense.
So if we can get a fish that's got a little color in it, not spilling milk yet, but you can see it's got some color in it, those are the fish that we're going to want to put in the brood program.
That makes sense.
That way.
Completely. Yeah.
So,
I'm just
and when you're here next week or whatever, when we're fishing on the 20th, if our quota is not met for the month, we'll be contributing. So we'll have the tank in the boat. So
good. Yeah, it'd be good to get some of that on film for sure.
Think about the mortality rate for a second. Only 2%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you look at our fisheries and you look at that mortality rate of 10 or 11%
on released fish.
On a released fish. That's not even taking the fish, putting it in a tank in the boat, taking it out of the tank, putting it in another tank.
Right. That's a hook and release in river, right?
Yeah.
And they attach a 10% mortality rate. Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's the fishing guides that we have on the Siletz River are amazing. They're all good stewards of the river, and they've all invested in quality nets that aren't going to damage these fish, and they're not going to get twisted in there and lose scale and slime.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a little bit, and some of the guys have even been buying gloves that help grab these fish. As you're transferring, you're not letting them slip and bang on the boat.
Oh, yeah.
It's a team process when you get one. Clients are helping hold the door open, guides getting fish. And last year, we had a couple good guides that really contributed well. Silas Stardance did great, and Mike Kelly and Scott Ammerman and Grant Sheely all did a lot of work last year on that river. And we're seeing the benefits again, in tougher conditions, we're seeing good fish returns.
Yeah, that's fantastic. How many years has that Broodstock program been established on the Siletz?
Yeah, we've been doing it. Heck, we started with little tubes hanging over the side of our boat. We've been doing them for 8 years, I think, that I know of. I mean, I was, 6-7 years ago, we'd have this little pipe that was pretty primitive, and you'd have to base it the right way so the fish was breathing when you're traveling down in a drift boat. And
right.
It really changed everything, but now we got them inboard boats now, and it's a lot safer for sure.
All right, buddy. Well, appreciate you always taking the time to help educate the masses on what it really truly looks like to have a succcesul broodstock program. And
and we can use boats up here down here too in Oregon.
I'm so excited to be able to fish out of a boat again and not feel like I'm breaking the law. Who knew? That's so exciting.
There's a ton of hungry guides down here with open seats, I'm sure.
Awesome. All right, buddy. We will. You got seats coming up available rest of January, February, March. So what's the best way for people to track you down?
January is getting close to full. February, we got plenty. Okay. Go to my Facebook page, Willamette Valley Outfitters, or Instagram, Willamette Valley Outfitters. Okay. Do that, or my number 541-517-7536.
Real good, man. Okay, we will we'll see you on the evening of the 19th, maybe definitely the morning of the 20th. Looking forward to it, and hopefully we're successful in putting one in the box. We'll get that all on video. We'll come back and spool that up the following week and just show people exactly what that process is all about. So, all right, buddy, keep up the good work. We will see you soon.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep, take care. So, before we jump out for break, so there's been kind of a point of contention going on. We do have a recognized broodstock opportunity on the Skykomish River for the summer run program. There was a committee formed by a handful of different folks. They all weighed in. They came up with the rules governing how this program is to be implemented. They're following it to the T. There was a representative from WFC on the board, in the committee to help steer this, right?
Yeah.
They're moving forward with this thing, and all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute, WFC decides to threatens, we talked about it, threatens a lawsuit against WDFW in regards to they're not following all the rules and regulations in regards to this summer on broodstock program. Josh has put up a link a couple times now on our messenger here. You should be able to see that both either on Facebook or YouTube and or Twitch. And get onto that link, and it will lead you through the process to weigh in and say how you are in favor of and absolutely do support. We got 1 week window left here. I believe it closes next Thursday when we'll be doing the show. We have 1 week left to get on there and lobby for support of the broodstock program to commence on the Skykomish. We have to get these programs off the ground.
Yeah.
We have to start seeing broodstock programs in Washington State. And, moving forward with Steelhead Management and our next guest after the break, Tom Moonan, and the meetings he was involved with at the legislative session here this week, and some of the senators weighing in on how we're managing these fisheries, what's transpired with our winter steelhead. It's a time for the turning of the tides. And we have to start revamping exactly how we manage our programs and what they contribute to these programs, Tommy. Because what we're doing isn't working.
Right.
And
Clearly.
So with that, get on here. If you're messaging, look at the links. We'll post it up on our Facebook page after the show. We advocate for folks to jump on and support this cause because it's the direction we need to go if we were to have fisheries in the future. All right, with that, jump out for a quick break. We come back. Tom Moonan, owner of Action Northwest Guide Service and president of the Grays Harbor Sports Fishing Coalition. We're going to talk to him about some of the activity going on down here at Olympia in the legislative session and committees and hearings and what's going on with this winter steelhead debacle that we find ourselves in. All that and a little bit more right after this break right here at Fish Hunt Northwest.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride right here in Bremerton, Washington. Arima Boats offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. With literally thousands of Arima boats on the water throughout the Pacific Northwest, Arima boats are a proven hull design that offers incredible fuel economy and all of the amenities that a serious angler is looking for. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Arima boats are designed to maximize deck space while also providing ample seating. Contact us today at Arima Boats for all your boating needs and let us help you get out on the water.
Welcome back, Fish Hunt Northwest. Waiting on Tommy Donlan as per usual, and our special guest. Mama always told him he was special. Matt Messing here in person.
Yay! Hey, she always did tell me I was special.
I believe you.
It's her favorite son.
We got another topic here on steelhead, but as we roll through later on, we're getting into bear hunting. We're talking a little shed hunting.
Yeah, I got to do something during the off season.
Boy, I'm telling you, our opportunities are limited. So we're digging into some things that smaller groups of folks maybe partake in, but it's still worth a conversation because it's interesting stuff. With that, I want to introduce everybody. First time on the show via the phone for sure. Tom Moonan, been a friend for a long time, owner of Action Northwest Guide Service and currently president of the Grays Harbor Sports Fishing Coalition, also a member of the Steelhead Work Group, who happened to be in Olympia on the 12th, basically speaking in front of a legislative committee on a hearing that revolves around the current steelhead rules and regulations that have been implemented for this season. How are you doing tonight, Tom?
Pretty good, Dwayne. Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So you and a few other gentlemen that comprise the the Steelhead Work Group were asked to come in, and you guys spoke in front of a handful of senators, representatives in a committee, and they're asking questions as far as what you guys feel about the current regulations that were put on us this season for 2020, 2021 winter steelhead, or they more going down the line of, is this the right thing to do? What are they looking for? What kind of questions did they ask you?
Yeah, so when we, I'll back up here a little bit, Dwayne. Back when we had that last commission meeting where we flooded basically the department's Zoom call with over 500 and some callers on there. Lots of testimony provided, some in support, some not in support of this rule change. And we didn't feel like we were being heard by the department. And so we requested a legislative hearing, and we had one scheduled. So we had an opportunity here to send our concerns and thoughts to the Senate Agriculture, Water, Natural Resources, and Parks Committee, and just to, like I said, express our thoughts and talk about things and get it in front of them as to how this season shook out. And it was myself, Bill Meyer from the Olympic Peninsula Guide Association, Ryan Bullock, Vice President of the Olympic Peninsula Guide Association, Kerry Hoffman of the Grace Harbor Guide Association, and then Gregory Tope from the Wild Steelhead Coalition, and Pete Servon from the Conservation Angler. And so we, the four of us, Bill, Ryan, Kerry, and myself, we put our heads together with some help of some other folks up in Forks and some help from some folks down here in the South Peninsula to figure out what it was we wanted to hit on. And the major things we wanted to hit on were the social aspects of how unfair this rule change is, the economics portion of this rule change, the data in which the department was using to support their decision, and then Kerry, followed up with our asks and proposals to the department with a region steelhead management plan being set forth. And so that was one of the major things that we tried to hit home in this with this panel at this committee hearing on Tuesday. And there were some other things that were brought up that really should be looked at, and I'm glad that they were brought up by senators on the committee. And one of those was predation, avian bird predation, pinniped predation, and what we're doing to deal with those issues. The fact that certain systems down here that are steelhead strongholds for our wild stocks are being managed the same as the Quileute system that has 3,000 fish over escapement on the table. And you got systems like the Satsep, the West Fork, and the Middle Fork that are being managed the exact same as the Quileute, while the Satsep, being a Chehalis Basin tributary, is 2,000 fish under escapement, let alone it's being left open a month longer this season than it ever has been historically. And so we just wanted to point out some things that just didn't make sense to us, and things that the department is already supposed to be doing per the state steelhead management plan, which is providing regional steelhead management plans, and it's not being done. So
let me ask you this: do you think those senators sitting on these committees that are asking you guys the questions are truly interested and invested in helping to promote change, and/or do they have serious concerns in regards to WDFW's upper management, the decisions that they're making, the management practices they're employing? I guess, in other words, it's not just a dog and pony show. These guys are seriously, holding them to task and having them justify their decision-making process, if I understand you correctly.
Yes, I 100% believe that the senators on this committee are are looking at this seriously and asking the department questions pertaining to accountability, and it's refreshing. I don't think that we can stop. We've got the ball rolling, and we need to keep the ball rolling. And so there's a lot of irons in the fire right now on things that we're working on, and with legislative support, working closely with our legislators for assurance that we don't end up in this position again, and that seasons be set that are based on conservation and inclusive and equitable for all anglers. And I think we have their attention, and it's been overwhelming for us involved up to this point. A lot of work last week, putting our heads together, late night Zoom meetings, lots of just meeting of the minds, trying to get everything out there that we think is helpful, and moving forward with a conservation-minded approach, but that is, like I said, fair and equitable for all anglers. And so I do feel that the senators on this committee are closely paying attention.
There's another hearing tomorrow, Friday, is there not, in front of one of the committees, Natural Resources or something?
Yeah. So tomorrow there's a meeting in the House. Side.
Is that open to the public typically, right?
I'm sure that it'll be recorded on TVW and then probably posted to YouTube later. After.
Yeah, with the whole COVID deal. Okay.
Yeah, but we're providing no live testimony tomorrow. We've sent our testimony in already, and so and we've been in contact with our local representatives out of the 19th, 24th, and some others, and are trying to brief them on moving forward as to what our thoughts are. And
what's the end goal here, Tom? Is it do you guys anticipate any likelihood of any rule change at all? I mean, we're already mid-January. We're looking at February. Number of rivers closed February 1. The bulk of them will close March 1st. The opportunity window is narrowing. I take this as at least senators and representatives that are involved in some of these committees are at least lending an ear, being mindful of what WDFW is doing in their management practices, and it's information we can utilize going into next year, hoping we have more of a voice at the table as they construct seasons, and hopefully kind of work hard towards giving us opportunity back on the water.
Right. As far as this season, I'm remaining optimistic, but I feel the department's got their heels dug in pretty deep on this, and I don't necessarily think that we're going to see change this season.
Yeah.
Which it is, is it right? No. Do we disagree with it? Absolutely. That being said, that's why we're grinding so hard on making sure that what is happening this season is not setting precedent for the future of our steelhead season, and this becoming the new norm.
I think that's the important takeaway here, is that especially like this carpet bombed rule of no fishing from a floating device, when you want to talk about ensuring that those don't just get put in there and left, that committees are taking input from both sides to truly gauge how this is being implemented. They can take a hard look at some of those rules and say, we don't need to go this drastic here. We need to come up with better measures in how we rebuild these fish runs. So lots going on in regards to that committee work, lots going on with you and your folks. in all the different groups associated with this. There's a number of guide associations and committees that have had a hand in this. Lots of persons have spoke out against it. WDFW has had an earful in regards to not a lot of support with this decision making. Part of that was even as far as the information you guys put out there to the committee. There was a few folks that were chiming in to say they had overwhelming support for the department, and mass majority were happy with the implementation of these rule changes. And yet there was a petition fired off the other evening gathering persons to sign on, an electronic signature, if you will, to show the numbers of folks that were actually against the decision-making process and how it was implemented. I'll be very curious to see what the numbers show tomorrow when they present those to the committee as a follow-up, to simply say, well, they came in with numbers to say here's their support. On the other side of the aisle, here's the support for those not in favor of what was put out there. So you guys are doing some great stuff. Appreciate the effort that's going on. It's definitely, a lot of frustration because it's a slow-moving process, especially when it's landing at the laps of the legislators. It's not going anywhere fast anytime soon. So appreciate you jumping on this evening and giving us some insight of what's going on. Is there anything people can do to support moving forward, or contact any of you guys in your guide associations and have input?
Yeah, so there is a petition going around. It's being shared on Facebook right now through change.org. And if folks, it's probably about 30 seconds of your time. And it's basically saying that you don't support what WDFW has done this season as far as steelhead rule changes. And it outlines ways for the department to basically be more accountable. And so, folks can sign that. It's going to probably be delivered to the House tomorrow, just with the signatures we've gathered over the last 72 hours. Mm-hmm. And so that, there's nothing wrong with folks sending a positive, professional email to their elected officials in the district in which, they live, and expressing their concerns. And, that's how I got started, and that's how a lot of us got started. Yeah. And it's, believe it or not, they do listen. Does it always go the way that we think that it should? No, but if you don't give it a shot, then you go out not trying.
Yeah. Yep, good point. So, people got to step forward and, put in the time, do your research, understand what's going on, and take some time. And once in a while, you got to march on Olympia and just let the legislators know that you're unhappy with this particular department or agency within the state, and work towards change. So, all right, man, good stuff. Appreciate you taking time tonight, jump on the show with us. It's not always easy to get that information out there, and we tried to provide a platform to allow folks to do so. So keep up the good work, my friend. We'll keep in touch.
All right, thank you, Dwayne.
You bet. See you, buddy. All right.
All right, bye.
So there you go. Just some things to kind of wrap that up. I think we're pretty much done with this steelhead debacle of this season. We look at these high water events, Matt. We're just trying to get back on the water, and by the time we do, some of these rivers ultimately are going to be closing in a few weeks, and down the line, and so this one here, just kind of wash your hands of it. It'll be important to keep eyes on the gauge where WDFW goes from here. Mm-hmm. If they don't initiate some talks just after North of Falcon is complete, we're done with salmon season. We're ready to put that to bed, regulations-wise and season setting. We really need to tackle this steelhead thing that's happening because, Puget Sound's been in trouble for years. Now we're talking Grays Harbor, North Coast. If we just kind of sit on it and wait till September, October to start talking about it,
you're going to get the same result.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
it's going to be over before it starts.
Ball's in their court to make sure they're on top of this moving forward. And I don't think these collective groups out here in this region are going to sit idle and wait for them to continue to, bring information. They're going to be, hey, let's get going, right?
Right.
So, and that's what it takes. So, Great job in all regards. All right, jump out for a quick break. We come back, we have a number of things we need to. We got a long list here, Tommy. You seen that?
We do.
This spring bear hunt lawsuit filed, it just makes me laugh. We have that. We got some recent commission appointments that actually, believe it or not, kind of tie into what Tom Moonan was talking about in regards to some of these senators sitting on different committees, Ways and Means and Natural Resources Committee, and the part the senators play in confirming some of these chosen seats by current Governor Inslee. It gets a little muddy. We're going to try to clear it up for you. So we'll jump into all that side of information here. We come back from this break right here at Fish on Northwest. Allied boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Deep V 21-degree dead rise at the transom guarantees a smooth ride no matter the conditions. Allied offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Allied boats range from 19 to 32 foot in length, so no matter what type of heavy gauge boat you are looking for, we have it for you. All of our Corsair 21-foot and larger designs come standard with reverse chine that is welded inside and out with no extrusions below the waterline, so that you will never have to worry about corrosion problems down the road. Get out on the water today in a boat that you can trust and enjoy with Allied Boats. Contact us at Allied Boats today to learn much more about our incredible fishing machines.
New days, new beginnings. New friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
Yep, welcome back in Studio Fish on Northwest. We're having a good time tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning in. This segment presented by Max Lure in our how-to segment. Tommy, this week, how to file a frivolous
lawsuit.
What do you know in that regard?
I think that based on recent events with the lawsuits, I think WDFW is going to be doing nothing but responding to these frivolous lawsuits.
Allegations.
So the latest one... And folks, I'm going to try to keep my emotional intelligence and resilience as I read you some of these things. But this is coming from two Western Washington sisters, Martha Hall of Anacortes and Cher Strobel of Seattle. And they are suing WDFW. Get this. This is why they brought a lawsuit to WDFW, okay? They said they were not properly notified that WDFW was considering a spring bear season in 2021.
Correct.
That's the lawsuit.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall during that discussion. Hey, sis.
Do you realize...
Did you know that they didn't tell us that there was going to be a bear hunt, a spring bear hunt?
So,
I mean...
Yeah, let's sue them.
Yeah, I can just see that conversation goes down. So, Martha, did you hear?
That's the lawsuit. That's it. And WDFW had an editorial change, okay? We had the 2020 bear season.
Right.
And they were amending the law as it was written to say, hey, that season that we had is now applicable to 2021.
We had a successful season. We're going to unplug it here. And we're going to plug it in over here. Right. We're going to take away the 0, put a 1, and we're going to move forward with this season.
And that's it. It wasn't, hey, we're going to start baiting bears again in Washington.
No.
It's not, hey, everybody can have 3 bears per person.
No.
It was purely carrying over the same exact season that happened the year before.
So, understanding that there is submission periods, waiting periods, and informational back and forth. notifications have to come out in regards to certain things from WDFW. Rule changes are a big one. The opportunity as fishermen to submit rule changes that you feel would benefit the majority, or you have a particular piece of water that you feel needs a little more protection, or it's just your honey hole and you're tired of people fishing and screwing it up, right?
Right.
So you have open opportunity to submit rule changes, and those announcements go out on a regular basis. And I'm not saying for every body of water every year it doesn't work that way, but you have windows of opportunity. And if you keep up on the news and things released by WDFW, you're going to find that, this actually is some of the area that I recreate in, and I do want to have a say.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
To just go, oh my gosh, they're going to have a spring bear hunt again, and they didn't put out proper notification for public to weigh in on whether or not we should or should not. That wasn't the deal.
No.
That wasn't the deal. They had already done that previously, and because it was moved forward to say doesn't seem to be any overhanging issues here, we're just going to plug and play and move forward with a bear season that was successful in all regards, and give recreational hunters, by the way, which hunting licenses are down in Washington State. So the majority of folks who don't hunt far outweigh a number of the minimal folks who do.
Right.
And this is what we're dealing with.
So the thing to remember is they didn't come with a lawsuit and say, hey, your data's wrong.
Right.
Or your facts are misplaced.
Correct.
There was nothing there that said, hey, by having a bear hunt, you're going to have this adverse negative economic impact.
Right.
It was literally, you didn't tell us. We don't have anything wrong. We don't have a problem with the actual bear season itself. Right. Because if we did, we would have told you last year.
We're just upset about the lack of notification.
You just didn't notify us. So, the concern is how so this is our taxpayer dollars at work, by the way, for WFW that has to respond to this. So how much of this do they have to deal with every year, and does that pull them away from the main priorities of managing fish and wildlife in the state of Washington? Yeah, it's a good point. You know what? I'm going to get somebody from WDFW to come on, hopefully, maybe Nate Pamplin or somebody that's in policy, to talk about the amount of time and money spent, I don't want to say fighting, but in litigation against these frivolous lawsuits. We have Martha from Anacortes and Cher from Seattle, two sisters who oppose bear hunting. So their thought is, well, then we need to make sure they know. Now here's the concern. Okay, this is where I steer this in the next direction. We had Lauren Culp on the show a number of times, right? Lauren is a successful outdoorsman. He grew up hound hunting, using hounds for raccoons, bears, cougars, the whole deal. Washington State hunting, you used to be able to bait bears and you could use hounds. Yeah. You had houndsmen out there running game. That right to use dogs to hunt certain types of game was taken away from hunters in Washington State based on emotion, a propaganda campaign, one of which organized groups based on emotion got together and said, oh my God, I cannot believe they're still hunting bears with dogs. That's cruel and inhumane. It needs to stop. Humane Society, you want a piece of this? Oh, absolutely. Let's get involved. They canvassed the state with propaganda and information to all the non-hunters. Right. Now, if you're not a hunter and don't understand the actual ongoings of what that is, you go and buy your meat at the grocery store and think that that's a humane way of providing meat, you're misdirected, right? So absolutely. Go spend a day watching some videos on YouTube. You're going to change your mind. Yeah. Slaughterhouses 101. Okay. Yeah, you'll quit doesn't matter if it. Yeah. Pigs, chickens, cows. Doesn't matter. It's cruel and it's horrible. Yeah. So based on emotion, Tommy, we see this canvas of misinformation put out there, and sure enough, you get a bunch of soccer moms and children standing out in front of Safeways and grocery stores. Hey, would you like to sign the petition? Oh, absolutely. There's no need for that. And then they get enough signatures, get it introduced on the ballot. Then it gets to the ballot, and people come in, they read it for the first time because they didn't have time to read the voters' ballot. They go, oh my God, they're hunting bear in Washington? That's unbelievable. It has nothing to do with the original lawsuit. It's bringing attention to the fact that there is a bear hunt here. Yeah. And for good reason, too, right? Yes. We've got a lot of bears. Oh, we got a population of 35 to 40,000, much like Oregon. So
that is how we lose the right to do things, because the majority does not hunt. The minority does.
Yep.
We're a small voice in a huge state with, we're uptrending to 8 million people at some point. There's not even 1 million hunters, right?
No.
License sales are
less
down.
than 5%.
Our group is dwindling. And this mass majority that is opposed to those types of activities, they're the majority. And because you can get initiatives on the ballot and you can get persons to support those lack of educated, movements, this is the end result. And it's scary. We look at these two sisters and I kind of laugh, but the end result is...
It could set a precedent.
It sets a precedent.
Yep. So they entertain the lawsuit. Heaven forbid it goes the wrong way, and then all of a sudden every lawsuit after that is, well, hey, you guys lost that lawsuit against the two sisters suing you over the fact that you didn't tell them about a bear hunt. This is way worse than that. So we're going to win our lawsuit. Where's it going to end? Right?
Oh, I know. It ends when it lands on the desk at the commission. Segue. So if you think that's how this would be resolved, you're mistaken. Let's revert back to the two recent appointments of commission seats filled by Governor Inslee. We went down some of their credentials last week. It gets even deeper. First of all, we're hiring zookeepers to be our commissioners on the 9-person panel, Tommy, and it's concerning.
Yeah. To be fair, he was a zookeeper across the world, many different places. He
traveled all over. Fred Coots, Lorena Smith. They both have long, distinguished resumes. You can't dispute that.
No,
I'm sure they're very educated.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Very educated, very smart persons. They've done a lot of good things in the realm of conservation. Predator management, recovery, habitat restoration, have lobbied for monies for charitable contribution networking groups. I mean, the list is long and distinguished, okay? I also find it kind of interesting that they both have in their resumes at some point interactions with Woodland Park Zoo.
Yeah.
Which tells me in some form of life their paths probably crossed. And yet here they find themselves both seated on the commission at the same exact time by our governor. Now, there is nothing in their resumes that make me feel good about the fact that they fish and hunt.
No, because
it starts with a couple. It starts with a couple sisters sipping hot tea, talking about their upset about bear hunting in Washington State. It moves forward to a petition. It gets launched in the ballots and in the voting, and people vote away certain things. It lands on the heels of the commission, where you go, at least they'll make a stand. Oh, wait a second. The zookeepers don't like people hunting either. So now I start getting real concerned.
Absolutely.
And I'm not painting some conspiracy here. I'm just talking about this is how things go.
What's going on,
right?
Yeah, it's right there.
Right.
And you cannot just discredit that and go, oh, there's nothing to this. You guys need to wake up and see how this transition is happening. There's a shift taking place in some regards. Now, those two appointees to the commission seats have not been
formally appointed
by, or the Senate hasn't weighed in.
Yep.
There is the thought process that if the Senate doesn't confirm those put to the seat by the governor, then others can be selected. Bobby Kratzer has our vote. He's a standout for the West Side. We're hoping some way that, according to some of the rumblings amongst the Senate seats currently, they are not happy with the process in which Governor Inslee applied to putting those two persons in their current seats.
Because the process wasn't followed.
The process was not followed. It's a good point. So we'll see where that comes out in the very near future. That'll be discussed within legislators. I'm not sure if they are going to confirm either of those two or not, what that looks like and what the future holds. If there's a possibility of one of them vacating because they don't get confirmed and Bobby Kratzer can get in there, that'd be great. The other one that you want to pay attention to is Ryland Waithman. Over on the east side of the state, we have an east side vacancy with Dave Graybill stepping down at the end of his 6-year term. And it's important that we get somebody like Ryland, who is, by chance, a very well-educated man. He's an attorney. Currently practicing law. He is an avid and accomplished outdoorsman, both hunting and fishing, a passion for the outdoors, and he sees the direction the state is going, and he has concern. So he wants to step in and take on that responsibility and represent from the east side. And I think he would be very beneficial, especially when you start talking about those upper Columbia River tributaries and fisheries management, big game and things on the east side of the state. Ryland's the guy. So, there's some rumblings going on amongst the Senate. We'll see where this goes. It's our job to kind of track this stuff and bring it out each week to keep you guys up to speed, and we don't mind doing so. Do a little digging amongst yourselves. Get on some of this information out there. Look at what it means when individuals start slamming lawsuits against WDFW, how that can transition to petitions, and look at the direction our government is currently going in regards to assigning persons to the commission. It should give you cause for concern. Because last time I checked, there's not a whole lot of people on that board right now that are avid outdoors hunters and fishers. We have hikers and gatherers.
Sure.
And zookeepers.
Mushroom pickers.
I was just going to say mushroom pickers.
Yes, exactly, Cameron Russell. No confirmation, please. So hopefully you guys understand the process, and we're not trying to bore you with this, but let's face it, this time of year, we have certain things going on that we can go out and do based on weather and opportunities. We also have all this stuff going on that I feel is relevant, and so we'll continue to bring it to you. All right, we're going to jump out for a quick break. We're going to come back, close the show out with our good buddy Matt Messing. We got to take a little stroll down shed hunting lane with Matt. We come back. This is some good info. Don't want to miss that. Stick around. Quick break. We'll be right back here at Fish on Northwest.
Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. Defiance boats feature a 21 to 22 degree dead rise at the transom and a large reverse chine for incredible handling and stability offshore. Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Defiance boats feature fuel-efficient hull designs with large fuel tank capacity so that you can have maximum fuel range for making long offshore runs completely safe and affordable. All Defiance boats come standard with self-bailing decks for improved safety while at sea. Defiance Boat offers all our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Defiance Boats for all your boating needs, and let us help you get out on the water.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Phoenix Protective Corporation strives for excellence. Above all, Phoenix security officers are managed by leaders trained to inspire and encourage greatness. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts, with service ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. We here at Phoenix are looking for highly motivated individuals to apply. If you're a vet, retired or active, and would like to work with us, please apply.
All right, welcome back, Fish on Northwest, here in studio with our our guest, Matt Messing, and winding down, closing out the show. But before we get out of here, I want to remind everybody, take a few minutes, Google, if you will, monkey tail beard.
That looks good.
My son just posted that up on the old Facebook page here. Monkey tail beard. That's a good one. Tommy?
Our producer's going to rock it.
I think Josh
said he's
can pull it off.
Grow one. Yep.
Monkey tail beard.
Except he said he was going to do it on his back.
His might look more like the backside of a baboon in heat. That would be, that would be interesting. All right, let's talk about something that makes sense. Matt, you know what? You mentioned something to me the other day. I was like, you know what? You're right. We should have a little discussion on that. You know, shed hunting, believe it or not, is becoming more and more popular.
It's a big thing.
It is.
Yeah.
Right.
What better thing to do? Get out there and walk around in the woods and see in your hunting area. Go find some new hunting area.
That's the thing, right?
What better excuse to go scouting and go find another area and go look for antlers?
Yeah.
Why not?
You got any particular animal you go out looking for and find antlers, or both deer and elk, or what's your deal?
Deer and elk, you know, it's something you can do almost anywhere, guys. If you've seen a buck cruising around somewhere, make sure it's land you can go on. Yeah. And then, just go check it out. Go walk around. Go look for some new stuff. Take the family out. Mm-hmm. I mean, what better thing? Get the kids out there running around. Hiking. They don't need to be quiet. You're not hunting deer. You're hunting an antler. True. It's just laying there. And, you know, so it's a great family thing. And you go learn new areas, go learn new sign, go find stuff.
You even teach your dog to key in on sheds?
Yeah, my dog's actually found a couple, you know.
Right on. Yeah. Okay, so we're going with you.
Scout's a champ, man.
Yeah. Well, a lot of guys have been doing that in the last few years. You see more of that progression, guys actually training their dogs up to you know, find sheds. And we got a couple laying here in the studio, this 5x5. I got both sides of it, brought to us by our friend Bill Smith, who is a guide in the blues. And he brought those in and said, here you go. It's interesting because that one on the top's got an area where a chipmunk was gnawing on it.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, that's a fresh antler to have that much chewing there.
It's amazing those little critters can chew that much of that dense bone off that. I mean, that's crazy.
The thing that I find interesting too is like, I've found sheds on the east side or over in Idaho, right? Moose, elk, deer. Yep. But on the west side, where I know there's elk, I haven't seen as many sheds.
That's hard.
Where I know there's a ton of elk, and haven't seen sheds.
Why is that?
And why is that? I don't know. And you know, but I will say though that, you know, they're not. It's not on the east side. They're not necessarily in the same area that you would hunt them. Right, depending on if those, especially elk, right, if they're migrating ranges,
to winter
and they're
areas,
going from their summer range to their winter range. So you really got to kind of have a local understanding of where you are shed hunting and where those animals are going to be when they drop. Yeah. Which on the east side, typically March, you know, around that time frame, you're getting out there. But I've seen a couple people post online that, you know, bucks in their area are already dropping their antlers.
Yeah, some of the whitetails over on the east side I've been seeing are dropping.
And that's crazy
stuff already, yeah.
But, you know, we've got super warm weather. Yeah. You know, not necessarily a horrible winter, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it really hasn't been cold
good for the critters,
we had a couple of chilly nights, but we're still hitting mid-40s and 50 degrees during the day. Yeah. Even on the east side, when I was over there hunting ducks last week, we were at 49, 50 degrees on day 2. Wow. So... Yeah, relatively warm, but it's a good opportunity. Now, the thing that has been observed is we have a lot more people doing it. Yeah. We have a lot more people doing it, and in some regards, they're borderline harassing animals. They're pushing them out of those areas where they want to be right now this time of year. Yeah. So when they migrate to those wintering areas, they come down lower out of the hills. Some of those, you know, that are on this side or the other side of the Cascades. Those critters, especially when the weather turns, they're going to drop down lower, right? Yep. And so for the early aggressive folks who are out there thinking they're going to find these early sheds, you're actually disrupting those animals at a time of year where mamas have been bred. Yeah, right. They have fetuses in them.
They're only a few months away from dropping.
Yep. And so, they basically at this point have young calves in them. But so you got to be cognizant of the fact that you're disrupting them at a time of year where they're not supposed to be pressured.
If you're following them around and pushing them around.
Pushing them around.
Chasing them in your snowmobiles.
Yeah, that is another thing too. Guys are
watching from a distance. Yeah. You know. Yep. Let them do their thing. Give them space.
That is something to take into consideration, that you're not really out there to get them running around and shoot video of animals running. You're there to find the drops and
to note too, some of the feed stations where they're wintering and whatnot are not open until May 1st, guys. You can't go into some of these areas until May 1st. There are shed openers in certain areas. You know, that's like the west side. You go chasing blacktails. It's great. Just go mob around in the bushes.
Tom Ryle does it every year.
I've found some nice ones in the bush. I pulled one out of a bush before.
Did you really?
Yeah. My first
out of a bush.
My first ones I ever found was a set. One was laying on the ground, picked it up. It's like, whoa, the other one's got to be closer, right? I was like, I'm thinking like a deer. I'm like, well, there's a nice bush here. Get that itchy antler off, reach down in there, and pulled the other side right out.
Look at you.
I was like, woohoo, matching.
We're going to go with him.
The friggin' antler whisperer.
But have you heard about these openers, these shed openers, and the
amount of people that show up?
At the wintering stations for elk?
Oh, man.
It is like you're lining up for the 200 meter.
How crazy is that, right?
200 meter hurdle. Yeah. And you got your backpack and
you're going.
boom, they open it, and you're out of the block.
Get after it.
Reasons to stay up on your cardio program through the winter.
That's
right?
That's it.
Don't let yourself go. You're going to miss out on that 5x5 shed.
Even check out some of these ones in other states. Jacksonville.
Right.
Man, they open that. There's miles of cars parked waiting to get into these areas. There's anglers just all over. There's tons of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it is, it's a race. You got guys on horseback. Those are cool. The horseback starts. You just see people horsebacks and quads and guys pile them up.
Shed is like an elk shed goes for what, $10 to $12 a pound.
Well, some of those guys are out there harvesting them
to
green
score,
get a few bucks for them from certain companies that make stuff out of their sheds, right?
Right.
Chandeliers,
chew toys. That's a big one.
That's a huge one.
Yeah. My dog loves it. They've got an elk one halfway gone. It's impressive.
I would think those chew toys, it'd be easy to gather a bunch of those at some of those high fenced farms where they actually raise them whitetails.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
They're going to drop at some point. So just go up there in the field, pick them up. So. All right, good stuff, Matt. Can't thank you enough for coming in and
it was a pleasure.
hanging out.
Thank you.
Enjoying the evening, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Get out there and get some blackmouth, not blacktail, blackmouth over the next 5 days.
A couple more days to go for it.
And then hopefully we can anticipate a reopening. Gosh, you know what? Let me look at my calendar. Might be able to squeak a day in here before it closes.
Let's do it. Let's do
check it out. So,
and I'd like to add, guys, just be gentle on those fish, please. There's no need to be netting 12-inch shakers.
That's a good point.
Even 18 to 20. I mean, heck, put a couple marks outside of your boat. You can pull the fish up. I like to use a gaff. I got a little gaff on board. I grab the line, above your hook, slide that gaff down to the bottom.
Roll it out.
Roll it over. Pop that fish right off.
That's why we
never
use
even touch
hooks,
it.
Right?
Yeah, you never even touch the fish. It's got all its nice slime on there.
That is a very good
He's
point.
swimming off happy as can be. Be kind.
Canada had an 80-centimeter roll here the past couple of years in the summer. We didn't get to obviously fish Canadian waters across from Nia Bay this last summer, but before that, and that's exactly what we did. We would take a crayon and mark the side of the boat with 80 centimeters.
There you go.
That's it. Crayon, wax pen,
couldn't be over 80 centimeters. So you can pull the fish up, look at it, go, it's over. Unhook it, and
You're
minimal
done.
impact to that fish.
No need to bring it in. You're going to have higher survivability rate, right?
Yeah.
Less disruption. So
train your eyeballs. Train your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Figure that 22 out.
Well, we get out there and fish and film that. We're going to show how to properly release those sublegals, because I think it's important for the longevity of the fishery. And
it's not going to break your heart if you lost a 23-inch fish, right?
Yeah,
you might.
You're not out there feeding your family, guys. It's one fish. We're out there because we love to fish.
Hey, now we're trying to promote fishing and hunting on the show.
Right. Yep. So,
but they taste better than anything you'll find in the store.
That's true.
Oh, man. Yeah. All right, good stuff. I want to thank everybody for chiming in tonight. We got a lot of activity on the old messenger here. If we didn't get to you, I'll follow up after the show and give you guys some answers where we can. Make sure you check us out each and every week right here Thursday evening starting at 6 p.m. Never know who's going to come strolling in the old studio with us. And, stay relevant on our Facebook page throughout the week as we are posting up information, try to help you all be educated as to what's truly going on out there and some of our successes and failures along the way, whether we're out fishing or hunting. We'd love to see the photos from about the kids, get the family out on the water, in the woods, whatever. Hey, if you get out in the next few months and are on the shed hunt, post your pictures of sheds. Maybe we'll throw a little competition together, a photo competition or something, Tommy. And
there we go. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like it.
Time to start giving some stuff away on this show.
Got a lot of sweet hats sitting around here.
Oh, man.
It is. We got
we do have a desk full of hats.
Yeah, shotguns.
Couple shotguns.
Those are probably not going anywhere anytime soon.
We got a nice Euro mount here.
So,
there's an orange vest you need.
Yes. Also, do us a solid. Get over to our YouTube channel and give us a like or subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Post a comment or a question if you have them. We always scroll through our YouTube channel and our Facebook Messenger to make sure we don't miss your guys' inquiries or what you are concerned about. So, anything you want to hit us up with, please do so. Even if you want to tell us we're all full of it each and every week, that's fine too.
Whatever.
And I'm going to field the next kokanee question.
Get them ready. Post up your question of the week. As long as it's about kokanee, post up. Matter of fact,
your favorite canned corn.
I am going to put a post out this week on Facebook. You are going to ask your very best kokanee question. The best answer that Tommy provides to that question is going to win a hat.
There we go.
Send you a hat.
You heard it here.
So look for that.
Get your hats.
Kokanee questions and answers by Tommy Donlan.
There we go.
This week Fish Hunt Northwest on our Facebook page. All right, guys, I want to thank you. We are going to get out of here, spend the week doing something relevant, and stay in touch with us. Have a great week. We'll talk to you.